Hey Matthew, thanks for doing this again. Just how do you overall feel this draft went for you guys?
Well, always a draft, especially in the later rounds. You always, when people ask you, "Are you happy with your draft?" and you say, "I'll tell you in 5 years." So, listen, we once we get further in the draft, obviously, I trust fully our scouts because most of these players, general managers, haven't seen them play. And the good thing I feel because when you later you get in the draft, you kind of clusters of players that are similar, and then that's where you might go a little bit of need. Obviously, if there's a player that's in your cluster ahead and it's not your need, you'll draft him. But when you have 5, 6 guys in the same cluster, and I felt at that point we were able to pick a few needs, like a right shot defenseman, with two right shot defensemen, one defensive guy, one offensive guy, a center, a Russian center, and then we got a skill in the seventh round offensive guy that just had a really good year as a freshman at Western Michigan. So we were able to touch a few things. We're looking at goalies too. Didn't quite fell in our pick, but you'll see next week we have a couple of invites at camp that are in the same ballpark as guys that were drafted late. So we're happy with what we got.
Go ahead, Stefan.
When it comes to Dravecky, did Jay McKee help you at all with that? Obviously, you coached him before, and also to stay on that point, can you just take us through the process of elevating Rocky and then ultimately signing McKee to be the coach in Hamilton?
Yeah, well, Dravecky he's a high skill, high ceiling. I told the scouts at that point when you're getting to the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh round, let's go with higher ceiling guys, right? Like let's. So yeah, I actually texted Jay a few picks before we picked him and a couple other OHL GMs just to get we do our due diligence, and the guys felt like he's a highly skilled. He got traded out of Brantford because they made a push for the Memorial Cup. They had a real strong team, so I think they got Luchenko from Philly in that deal. And what's great is he's in Guelph. Guelph is hosting the Memorial Cup next year, so we know he's going to have that experience. And he's a high ceiling guy, high scale. Yeah, he does have to learn to play defense, but there's not one player in this draft that's getting drafted that does not have something to work on. So yeah, we got the input from Jay. I got the input from a lot of people, so that's why we picked him. He's a right shot D with skill. So we have left shot D with skill. We have defending left shot D, and now today we took a defending right shot D and an offensive right shot D. And as far as a Rocky being promoted. Sorry, there was a two-pronged question, I guess. He did a phenomenal job last year in Bridgeport. I thought we were able to really change the culture down there. When Pete took over, obviously he wanted to make some changes to the staff, and he had a few names in mind. And then when he met with Rocky, he was really comfortable with having him. Loved his energy, loved his communication skills with the player that's going to help him on his staff. So, and then when we started looking through AHL coaches, we had a long list, narrowed it down to maybe 5, 6 in-person / Zoom interviews, and then Jay was very sought after this summer. He was last summer too. The last 2 summers he's been. But in juniors, there's cycles when you build teams, and they were at the cycle where they felt like Brantford was a very, very strong team this year. Unfortunately, they got upset by Kasha Aitchison in the conference final. The Barry goalie just stood on his head, and so at this point, like we just felt that his track record, Jay's track record in the OHL, like he won a championship, and the way he's developed players, he's dealt with high-end prospects, especially this year in Brantford. So his track record was a no-brainer for us. And like the cherry on top was that he's actually won a championship with Hamilton. That was just obviously that absolutely zero factor in the decision, but it's a nice extra thing to put on top in our decision.
Andrew Gross, Newsday.
Hey Matthew, thanks for doing this again. Are all 5 of the picks coming to development camp? Is the Russian kid going to be able to make it?
Yes, because his agent Dan Milstein, the week before the last week, he started doing that. He has kind of his own combine in Florida, so he's already in the U.S. He's got his equipment and everything. So, yes, he'll be here tomorrow. So we expect every one of these, I'm looking through the list, every one of these players to be here starting tomorrow. Most of them are traveling tomorrow, some from Buffalo, some from other places. We have, actually, Dravecky was back in Europe, but he's flying. He's going to get in a bit later tomorrow night. But, yeah, all these guys will be here for development camp next week. Be nice to see you guys again.
Yeah, it'll be good to be around the ice again. Just with how crazy this week was in terms of the trade market leading up to the draft, how much do you see left over heading into Wednesday? And, do you still see it as, as active? And, do you see yourself as having a chance to get involved here?
Well, we'll see what happens in the next few days. Obviously, I want to have more discussions with Anders' agent, and we'll see where it goes, right? Like historically, it's funny. I saw one of my colleagues did an interview yesterday, and he says historically on July 1st, a lot of times there's deals that end up hurting you. You got to learn from that, and sometimes it might not look sexy because you're not jumping in on something, but sometimes it might be the right thing to do. So we'll see what's out there, and that doesn't mean the rest of the summer there won't be more movements. So depending on what happens internally with our players, from Anders to Shabanoff and guys like that, we'll see what's out there on Wednesday, and we'll go from there.
As far as the RFAs, have you decided who's going to be qualified, and if someone's not going to be qualified, can you let us know?
Yeah, actually, we haven't made a decision, to be honest with you, especially the NHL guys between Gatcomb, Shabanoff. I think that's Bogvis, we probably won't qualify him. I've told him already. We're just going to go in a different direction. Like Cam Start, Isaiah George will have every opportunity to be on this team, and we hope he finds a way to be on this team. So that's why we probably won't qualify Adam Bogvis. And the other guys, we were still in discussion, like about what we're going to do, because it's it's a puzzle. Also, you do something here, it affects here. So the next few days, we'll be we're going to have a nice dinner with the scouts tonight. They've done a phenomenal job all year. It's a tough job to be a scout. There's a lot of traveling, a lot of lonely nights on the road, and I always say when you do pro scouting, you're in NHL cities and at least AHL cities. When you do amateur scouting, you're in the obscure cities. And so we're taking them out for dinner tonight. But tomorrow morning early, we're back in the boardroom. And now the draft is behind us. We can focus on our roster and see where we go from to fill our roster. But like we've mentioned before, I don't expect any significant changes. There's not going to be 4 players out and 4 players in, because the reality, like I've mentioned since last year, I think for 2 years we had a lot of guys sign. Even the trades we made last year, we didn't add any contracts. So, but my job, I'll be on the phone tonight. I'll be on the phone all day the next few days, and if there's an opportunity to improve the team, I will do it, and we'll go from there.
See you in New York Post.
Hey, Matthew, thanks for doing this. Where are things with Semyon Varlamov right now? Are you planning to do you feel like you need to go out and get a goalie who can be the backup, or are you planning for him to be in that spot?
Well, as of today, actually, Varley's been on the ice. He told me last time he felt the best for the last 4 or 5 years with his knees, and I told him, you feel 25? He just said, no, 26. So, so we're excited the way he played in the AHL. So right now, if he's healthy, we plan on him. But we're obviously going to sign other goalies because we have to protect ourselves. Hopefully he gives us the 25, 30 starts we want from a backup. And, it'd be an awesome addition for us if that works out. And right now, at the end of the day, he's under contract. He feels great. So if he's healthy, he's going to be our backup next year.
Would you look at bringing back David Rittich as potentially, in that safety net spot? Yeah,
for sure. It's an option. And we're looking at a bunch of goalies, but also if we're being honest with the Vardy situation, the true backups that are established backups, probably not the first option they're going to look at, because they could be number 3 with us also. So, but we're I talked actually with David's agent a couple days ago, just keep him up to date of where it is. So, yes, he's an option. We have other options if that doesn't work out. Obviously, before committing to David or somebody else, we want to see how Varley was doing. He's been training, like no medication, no anything. He's been on the ice actually at Northwell probably twice a week, if not more, and in the gym. So it's very encouraging what we're seeing right now. But of course, we have to plan. Things can happen. I mean, even if he would have been fully healthy for the next 2 years, you always plan a third goalie. So we're looking into that.
And then just, I know that I think you said at breakup day you're not too keen on this free agency class, but are you comfortable with the amount of cap space you have going into July 1, or would you potentially look to clear some dollars out if that opportunity arose?
Well, any team would always like to have more cap space, right? That's the reality of it. I don't think it prevents me from doing anything right now, because remember, it's not only the cap hit, right? It's the term that some guys are going to get that sometimes, yeah, I like the player at that cap hit, but I'm not sure I want to commit 3, 4, 5 years with where we are. We hope some of our young guys are pushing for a spot at camp, so we don't want to block everyone. I mean, obviously, if you have a great opportunity, we want those young kids to earn their opportunities, not be given to them. So again, we're going to look at all options. And sometimes you don't want to make a decision that, all right, you love for the first year, and then the following years you don't quite like. So that's why we have to be careful.
Andrew Gross-Nuzek.
I'm sorry to circle back to Anders again, and I know it's just who he is, but when he makes the call last night, to Gustafsson, is it fair to read into that, or is that just Anders being Anders?
That's Anders being Anders. He's an outstanding human being. So there's, the decisions we're making on where I'm willing to go, where we're willing to go as a team on a contract and what he wants. That's a business decision. It has nothing to do with the individual. He's great. I really appreciated what he did. So we'll see where it goes. But I think there's nobody here that's surprised that Anders did that last night.
Yeah, no, I didn't suspect so, but and also the kid you picked from Edina, do they know each other at all?
You know what? I haven't checked with Anders, because we literally picked him 20 minutes ago, and I think as we're speaking, the draft is still going on. So I don't know if they know. Obviously, different generation, right? He's a half of Anders' age, so. Actually, not quite half, because he's a bit older. He went through the draft twice already, Robert Cowan. So, but listen, Edina's not New York City too, so there might be some connection somewhere.
All right, thanks.
Last one here, Stefan Rosser, Hockey News.
Matthew, I know a lot could change from now until the season starts, but with a guy like his age, where he's obviously still a really young guy, as a GM, how comfortable are you when a young guy serves as a seventh defenseman as opposed to having him play all the time in the minors?
Well, it's a balance, but I think I think it was good for him last year to be in the minors, and unfortunately, at the start, at the moment we needed recalls, he got hurt and all that. But at one point, you have to take that step. You'll have opportunities to play. First of all, I've never seen a team being fully healthy with 6 defensemen the whole year, so. Whether he might start in the top 6, maybe he pushes. We want competition. Maybe he pushes someone out of the lineup. We have some flexibility with the right and left guys that can play on both sides. So if he earns a spot on the team to start with, and then it's for him to earn his ice time. It's tough to just give a player his opportunity. He's got to take it. And a lot of times in this league, it's a dog-eat-dog world. You take the opportunity from someone. So if it happens, and if not, even if for some reason he starts and he's not in the lineup the first game, I'm not worried, because I know he's going to keep working. And if he's going to find his way in the lineup when he needs to take the opportunity when he has it.
Andrew, do you have one follow-up, or are you good?
Yeah, no. Sorry, I kind of blanked when I was on last time. I'm assuming I know the answer to this, but have buyouts been a consideration at all?
Well, everything's on the table all the time. It depends. Like, you're not doing a buyout just to do a buyout, but if an opportunity comes and you need to do a buyout, you'll do it. But am I sitting here today telling you I'm buying out someone in the next 2 days? I can't tell you that. I can't tell you I will. But if something arises and I need to do it, it's a part of the CBA that we can all use, and every team has an opportunity to do it if they feel they need to. So, but there's nothing. It's not like if the season ended, I was like, oh, I'm buying out this player without a doubt, which happens sometimes around the league. So I'm not there yet. We'll see what the next few days bring.